Hi, I'm Dr. Duke, and this is The Takeaway with our good friend Alex Newman. Alex writes for Freedom Project Media. Today there's a humdinger of an article from Alex Newman, and we urge you to check it out. Check out our media site. Today Alex is writing about the lunacy at Evergreen College. Now, most Americans have the tremendous good fortune never to have heard of Evergreen College. It's a hippie college. They don't like things like grades. It's all granola, crunchy, nutty. Tell us a little bit about Evergreen College, Alex, and what nonsense is going on there today.
Well, the Lunatics have truly taken over the Asylum, and that's the headline that I used for my article. And, you know, maybe it's a little bit cliche, maybe it's a bit overused, but it was so appropriate in this instance. What appears to have triggered it all, excuse the pun, was a nutty left-wing professor. And the left-wing nuttiness was even too extreme for him. They were trying to organize a day of absence where white people, anyone with, I don't know how strict their definition of white was, but if you didn't have a certain amount of melanin in your skin, you were not allowed to come on campus. Faculty, student, didn't matter. And this biology professor thought it was going a little bit too far, and people shouldn't be prohibited from speaking or attending school just because of their skin color. And that caused this explosion where the Lunatics took over the Asylum and started issuing demands and threats. And I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Let me summarize that. So traditionally, Evergreen College had a day of absence in which minority students voluntarily left campus to sort of, I guess, suggest the unbearable whiteness of being at Evergreen, right? All the minority students and faculty just disappeared for the day. It was their choice to leave work on campus. There was no punishment for them to leave work or school. And they sent a signal that way. This year, the same minority students demanded that all non-minority teachers and students leave the campus. This is a very sinister thing. And the professor, a fellow by the name of Bert Weinstein, I believe he's a biology professor, he correctly, and an all-around liberal, by the way, not some right-wing conservative, he pointed out to the entire faculty in an email that this is prejudicial. You can't force people out of their jobs, out of their classrooms to satisfy your own vanity. If you want to leave, you're free to do that. God knows the lefty professors at Evergreen would not punish students for being absent. But now they're trying to turn the tables and force people who look different from them off campus. That's really the crux of this, isn't it, Alex?
It is. Yeah, great summary there, Duke. And, they came out with this massive list of demands that, every public speech has to start with an acknowledgement that the land was stolen from Native Americans, and they want the police disarmed. They want mandatory sensitivity and cultural training for every member of the staff. They want, just so much nutty stuff. And of course, taxpayers are supposed to pay for it all. And, it was incredible to see the president of this college come out and surrender to all these demands. And, he had to put in the obligatory, I use he, him pronouns. Really, this is like an insane asylum. Looking in from the outside, you wonder what is going on here.
Well, it's a living, breathing example of Orwell's doublespeak, right? 1984, the coming culture of correctness. But what I found really staggering is not only did the university not support Bert Weinstein's ability, the biology professor, they did not support him. The campus police were told by the president that he was not safe in his office. And the president told the campus police to stand down and not get in the way of the protesters. Apparently, he had to hold his biology class off campus in a secure location because the students were literally gunning for him. And the campus police director, a woman in charge of campus police, was told by the president of the university that he was not going to allow them to protect this professor. Even more alarming, we have a video now of a group of students on camera demanding that the president of the university, the college, Evergreen College, immediately call all the professors on campus and tell them that even though their students wouldn't be turning in their assignments, wouldn't be completing their work for the course, that he ordered them, the protesters demanded that he order them, all the teachers, to accept late work or no work from these students because they were too busy protesting. And on camera, this completely frightened, deer-in-the-headlights college administrator says, I'll do it right away. I'll get right on the phone and order all of my professors to accept late work or no work from these students. Which, by the way, you can't force professors to accept anything like that. He's just a college president. He does not have the right to order professors to compromise their syllabi, the contract with their students, in order to force them to do something that these idiot protesters wanted.
You know, and I just want to add one thing, Duke. Now there's this video released of the protesters, and the protesters are mad. They're saying, oh, the video was leaked to make us look ridiculous. Well, they look ridiculous because they look ridiculous. I encourage everyone to go watch this video. They're chanting obscenities and racist garbage, and I think it really will give people an insight into the mindset of what we're dealing with. These are human beings who've supposedly been educated for 12 years. We as a country, as a civilization, are in some really big trouble if these students are even remotely representative of the brainwashed zombies that are going to be coming out of the government schools in the years ahead.
Well, what's staggering, Alex, is that there is no one in the administration, with the exception of Bert Weinstein, and he was persecuted for it, no one in the faculty speaking up about this. It's as if the little kids, it's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. If the little kids overthrew Willy Wonka and dumped him in a vat of chocolate and ran wild through the establishment, that's what we're dealing with here now. And it's even more remarkable, right, in the sense that what's coming down the road is shocking unless we get a handle on this and begin to stop it. Say the last word, your last thoughts on this for the day, and we'll wind up our takeaway.
You know, I think what this whole entire incident shows us is that we as a society have really dropped the ball when it comes to education. What's going on in the schools today is no longer education. It shouldn't even be referred to as education. And we as a nation, we need to come up with some kind of urgent action plan, because our entire country, our freedoms, and our whole civilization is at risk if this is the kind of lunacy that's going to be coming out of our institutions of supposed education.
Well, I just got a hot off the presses update from our producer, Mike Menzel. This is hot off the wire. State legislators in Washington state plan to introduce legislation Thursday, tomorrow, to privatize the Evergreen State College following a student protest against a professor who questioned plans to ask white students to leave. In other words, the state of Washington seems to be saying, you cannot behave that way and still be a state-accredited university, or a university in accord with the state of Washington. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that status from you. Good for them. And you know, the administrators, the faculty that can't be bothered to do the right thing, the administration. Now you've got Washington state representatives, by no means conservatives, we know what the Washington State Assembly looks like, threatening to remove that status from Evergreen University. So even in very progressive places like Washington, maybe there's beginning to be some pushback against this kind of absurd nonsense. Alex, we are really grateful. Thank you for a great article. This is another episode of The Takeaway. If you're interested in these kind of college discussions, my latest, I'm Right, deals with a similar problem at Orange Coast College in California. Equal snowflakery afoot. Alex, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. If you enjoyed this video and all of our videos, please consider a tax-deductible donation so we can keep the whole thing free for you. I'm Dr. Duke. Thanks for watching.